Happy Life Day. This is Sean.
Why are you so calm with that? You're like peaceful.
Because it's
be like,
because it's
Happy fucking Life Day.
It's Life Day, Lil. Oh,
here you go.
We celebrate a day.
You have a ball too? You didn't tell me you had a ball, you son of a bitch. You got a Life Day ball? What the fuck? Oh man, fuck Life Day. Fucking Life Day. You got a ball. I didn't even get a ball for Life
What's
Day.
up, Al? What's up, Fuck?
Okay. Fucking got a ball. What part of the game was that? You didn't even tell me about that one.
God damn, he held that one close to the
you
chest.
went and got a bath towel. At least he's got a real robe.
Hey, don't give away my costume, man. I'll be shitting on your parade.
He kept that shit close to the chest, didn't he, man?
He
did not.
He had the music queued up and ready. He was
let me
like,
see that
I'm gonna
ball
bring my
again,
glow
man.
ball out.
He literally pulled out a Life Day ball.
We celebrate a day.
Fucking Ed, yo. Man, yo. You got it. You do that, man.
Oh, shit.
I even have a 2023 Life Day hoodie. So.
Al, what's up? Flex,
what's up, Al?
Al, what's up again?
Now that's done, I'm gonna lose this robe because man, is it hot.
It looked hot, but still, you were flexing on that thing like on point. Give me your respect.
No, we're gonna do a strip show from Ed too now.
Yeah, I see.
All right, Ed.
Now we need some music that we can start playing. Should have started playing Cherry Pie, right? Jeez.
Hi.
Hi.
What's up, man? What's going on, everybody? Shit, what's happening?
I'm wearing a fucking Xbox headset because my headphones shit on me, so that sucks. Got to get that figured out.
That sucks.
Terrible.
Well, they look. You know what? You know it's funny. They look very stormtroopery.
But I don't like this big ass. You know, when I wear them when I'm playing Xbox, I don't ever have to see this shit.
It's true.
You're right.
I'm like, God damn, that's a big ass thing.
Yeah. Star Wars Addict 77. What up? What up? Hello, what's going on with you, buddy?
Nothing.
Any park visits? Any, random...
No, we took the weekend off because we're getting ready to go to Chicago. So no park visits this weekend, which is shocking, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're spending New Year's Eve all day at Hollywood Studios, so I'll be in Batu for New Year's Eve.
Okay.
So I'll be in Star Wars.
Nice. Look at
Dancing with the Ewoks.
Life Day dancing.
Some yub nub.
It's all gonna be in that sequel trilogy setting, though. Ugh.
Yeah.
Nah, Star Tours is not. So
Star Tours.
What's up? What's up?
I'm just kidding.
Hey, what's up? What's up? How's Life Day treating you, man? How's everything going, buddy? We can't even hear your mic. You might want to take yourself off.
No, he's on mute. Yeah.
There we go.
He pulled the Steve.
Yeah, I always do that.
I muted when I disrobed, but no, as usual, I'm just always very excited for talking about Star Wars every week. So I look forward to this.
You inspired some people last week, Ed. Let me tell you, man. You put in the work last week, and everybody was kind of like with you, man. Like, yo, respect to the game, brother. Respect to your game, man. I think George out there, man, definitely gave you a good shout out too on the Star Wars show over on his side. So definitely love you getting you're trickling through the universe, Ed. You're gonna be guest spotting on other people's Star Wars shows at some point.
Yeah,
but guess what? Cool. I'm not leasing you out.
Play some shit, wouldn't it? Like Ed, like he's like, I got contacted to host my own Star Wars show, like on a major network. Like, what the fuck? We've been at this for 10 years.
I'm not going anywhere.
Can I be a producer, please? Can I be a producer?
So
too funny.
Yeah. So listen, Ed, your usual. What you got going on this week? Is a lot of news this week?
Not a lot, but I do have something that I think you'll find funny at the end of the news. So,
well, then
cue it up.
Let's cue it up. It's so on point. You gotta change that at some point, though. You know, we got to edit that a little bit.
I'm gonna have to just do the whole whisper in the thing. I'm gonna add it in there.
All right, go ahead, man. Take it away, buddy. While I eat my
Once again, happy Life Day to all. I know if any of you came on late, it's definitely worth going back and watching the first couple minutes.
This brings up a question, though. Like, if you're not Jewish, you can't be running around wearing a yarmulke. So, is that a Wookiee only garb they got on there, Ed? Were you culturally appropriating the Wookiees?
Possibly. I have no idea. I'm just gonna have to wait and see if
you're gonna get a letter.
Reach out. I might.
You're gonna get
a letter. Email.
They better put it in basic because I really don't speak or read Shriwook. So.
Pow! Well done.
Got him.
So I love going through the news and reading some of the things. I had to add what was actually in the article because it wasn't on the headline. This was covered by a bunch of different news outlets, and they just talked about Spielberg, that his favorite movie was Attack of the Clones. But then when you read it, it goes, well, right behind Empire Strikes Back. Okay, so it's really not your favorite. But then he just talks about how he credits that movie as the best directorial piece that George Lucas did. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that either. I don't know if it's direction or acting, but there's some scenes that really stand out, especially with Anakin. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, the whole love thing is garbage in that movie.
I think I gave it grumpy. Pretty sure I gave it a favorable review in our last outing.
The movie's good. I'm not complaining, but
I think I'm wondering if Steven Spielberg, as a director himself, filmmaker himself, sees that and sees things that we don't see as people who don't make movies. There's certain parts of my job that I see out and about in the real world, and I'm like, ooh, that was a shitty tech, or ooh, they did a good job, kind of thing. So
I think so too. I think he's known George Lucas for so long. I think he knows the ins and outs of what he's did and what he has done to push himself. For George Lucas to push himself to be a better director. So he probably seen on hand how he actually directed Attack of the Clones. So I'm sure from his perspective, yeah.
Man, George Lucas, he didn't get naked and fight anybody during Attack of the Clones. So we'll call that
the real question here is probably not, but what is Steven Spielberg's best fucking movie?
His movie?
The BFG. Next question. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Jaws. We'll go with Jaws.
You're gonna go with Jaws?
Jaws is one of the first ones that comes to mind, but I'd almost want to go back because there's so many.
He directed the first Jurassic Park, though.
I mean, I was gonna say Jurassic Park, probably.
God.
But I would actually say as a director, I would say Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Oh. I was being
his best, most popular is probably Jurassic Park, but his best technical movie is probably Schindler's List.
No way. Minority Report. Next question.
Fucking next.
I do like Minority Report.
But if you look at Steven Spielberg's list of fucking movies, dog,
he's got a big range.
Spielberg is probably the best director of our time.
Fernando, Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan.
He's done everything.
Good one.
You know what Spielberg movie is one of my guilty pleasures? 1941. I don't know if anyone ever remembers that. That was with Dan Aykroyd, Jim Belushi. It was it was like I don't know why I love that movie, but I fucking love that movie. And Steve, you know what's fucking great about that movie? The cover art.
I'm looking at it.
The cover art on that VHS is.
I mean, that's not about the movie. It's just the cover.
No, the cover art, but the movie's great. I love the movie. The movie,
it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a very good cover.
Lucas tried to get Spielberg to direct in Star Wars, and
I wish he would have.
He didn't. I know he did add some pieces to Revenge of the Sith, apparently the whole high ground segment was Spielberg kind of directing without directing.
Huh.
So
damn,
I mean, like, of course, I'm gonna say good things. Like, they're like BFFs, right?
Well, yeah, like if Sean made a movie and I personally, like, quietly to myself, didn't like it, I would never. I would never say that to the presses.
No,
you know, I might tell Sean in the back room, like, "Come on, man." But like, I would
expect you to be like, "No."
In an interview, I'd be like, "It's a fucking crowning achievement of everything he's ever done. It's so good." It's
but then the background, you'd be like, "Yo, that was trash." I'm like, "I know," and I'll be like, "I know." It was such garbage.
Yeah.
All right. Jude Law got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which, I mean, it's exciting. It's cool, as we all know, but you kind of buy it.
Yeah. Once I found out that you got to pay for it yourself, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it kind of wears out. It's kind of like
lost all its muster for me.
Yeah, it's
like what are the prerequisites to buy it?
Like if you make a payment, do they like take it off the sidewalk?
Well, I think it's because of maintaining it. That's why you got to pay for it. Like somebody's got to go out there and actually maintain them.
Really?
But
because people piss on them all the time. So
especially people they don't like the Donald Trump stars getting fucked up regularly. Like I wonder if they have like different guys that have like different beats, you know, like different cleaners that like clean certain sections of stars, and then one guy's a Donald Trump star, he's super pissed. He's like, fuck every day.
Damn it.
So funny.
Can we buy a star? Like, what are the rules? No.
I think there are rules to it. Like you got to have certain things. You have to have sponsorship. Like you have to have like.
Hey, Mando,
Mando makes a good point.
That is a lot of leg there. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I was like,
oh yeah,
that's a tall drink of water.
Man.
But go ahead. I'm sorry. What you saying?
No, I think there's like sponsorships. I think studios have to back it. I think there's like a whole bunch of things that go into it, or producers and stuff like that. So it's not like we could just go up and like raise money to buy like a geek star. You know, like if we could, because if we could, every rich person would do that, right? Like
us with our stupid handprints in the cement.
Every asshole would just do stupid stuff.
Yeah, if we could buy that for $1,000, there would be so many handprints on it.
I wouldn't put my handprints in. I'd put something else. But we'll move on.
So is it so?
A little shriveled sack.
It would be very tiny. Very tiny.
Put his butt in there. Oh, Steve, wow, we lost him.
Yeah, I don't know. Steve must have laughed so hard he unplugged his camera.
Is it a little? Is it? It's. I guess it's still a thing to have a walk on the Hollywood.
It is. It's still. Yeah, I mean, people still do it. It's still part of that. I mean, when we were down there, I mean, we didn't go, but there were tons of tours to it. It was
No, I've seen
sold out. There's people who want to go do it. Problem like going down there is it's just so congested, and then you got all the weird character people. Like remember that show with that Superman guy that they followed? That was Superman down there, like would take pictures with people and shit for money.
Yeah,
there's not show, but movie about it. Like it's
the cover was him on like a shrink's couch or something.
Yeah,
Steve, have you ever been down there?
Yeah, fuck yeah, yeah. I lived in Hollywood for a while.
That's right, you did. That's right. You were a star at one point. I remember.
Star. I wouldn't be fucking up here in the hills if I was.
Well,
I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun in the music scene back in my 20s, but I'm a family man now.
Fernando said, "I've been there. It's a shady part of LA."
Oh, dude, Hollywood is gross.
No, dog. Let me tell you,
it's sticky. There's lots of puddles of shit. You know, just stuff everywhere.
When I went down there for a Lakers,
everyone's rude. All the actors, they're all rude. Guy Pearce, rude.
I went down there for a Lakers game and one year, and I went to get a rent-a-car, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you can get a rent-a-car, but just don't wear these colors." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, don't wear these colors? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, don't wear these colors and don't go to this part of the town. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
my dumb ass goes, I go to Compton. Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. Let's go there. Nothing happened though. I got lucky. I got lucky on that one.
I was in the heavy metal scene, so we just wore black. Can't get Nobody claims that. We're all right.
Yeah, don't do that now though. I recommend you don't do that. Nothing I told you, just don't go. Anyway, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The other thing that I was reading, there was a Forbes article, and this kind of brought up some.
If you took a black light through the streets of Hollywood,
no, thank you.
You could see that shit from space.
Mm-hmm.
So Forbes was talking about the future of Star Wars when it comes to streaming versus theatrical, and mainly on a money line. So I kind of looked at a lot of the streaming live action ones and kind of compared them. And I did a little bit of math in looking at them. So you can see on here the different titles and what they spent. Now, I kind of broke it down at a overall budget, then how much content they actually put out in hours. And then kind of divided to say, okay, how much is it per content hour? Because that's one of the things, like the movies, I mean, you can see we're looking at
230 million for Acolyte.
Oh, well, that was one of the things they talked about with it. So, yeah, that one worked out to about $41 million per content hour.
Yeah.
I mean, Andor was more, but
yeah, but it was so much better.
Yeah, it's actually the highest rated. If you give any credit to Rotten Tomatoes, Andor got a 96 from the critics and an 87 from the fans, which is the highest of any of these shows that are there.
Really? Wow. Hello, how's that math? Because I know you and Ed are like math and maths. Like
well,
I'm
so
curious.
This is my question with it though, because while it is very expensive, and especially when they are on streaming, because one of the questions that the Forbes article talks about is, when you do a theatrical movie, you get a return. Whether you actually make money or break even or lose money, any way you shake it, you're still getting money back.
Right.
But I had this conversation because, again, when I do this, if anybody knows I'm a Star Wars fan throughout the day and they bring it up, I'll talk about this to anybody.
All day.
So I'm wondering, like, when you look big picture, is it to keep the brand at the forefront all the time, because you're putting these shows and movies out in a timeline? So Star Wars always has something, because it's not just this, but it's generating there's a Star Wars aspect to all of the Disney parks. There is all the merchandising. There's a lot of pieces that feed this. And so that they look at it and say, all right, well, we get a return on the movies, but they take a lot longer. And with the short of attention span of people these days, it's in and out and it's gone. You can kind of drag these shows out a little bit more and get a little more traction with it. So Star Wars, good, bad, or indifferent, is always there. It's always being talked about. Because let's see, if I'm the one who's merchandising and I'm buying one of the rights to do something, if Star Wars is kind of fading out, why do I want to spend that? I need people who are interested all the time. So.
Well, and any bad publicity is good publicity, and anything bad that you put out, if it's not liked so much by the critics and the fans, the next thing you put out, if it's even slightly better, it's suddenly praised as the second coming of Christ. It's just like, oh my God, Star Wars is so back, and it's like, it's like a C, but it's just better than that fucking F shit we was watching before, But it's so much better,
I think it's weird. Like I'm looking at the numbers here, and I'm just like, wow. Like I haven't spent any money on any of these projects except for Mando. I haven't spent merch. Maybe I think The Force Awakens, maybe definitely, but that's not on here on the list. But I didn't buy anything from any of these shows. I don't think I've already had most of it, but.
Oh.
I didn't really
Sean,
buy it.
Star Wars has plenty of your fucking money. Don't you worry about that.
You're right. It does.
Yeah. Well, I think Grogu alone paid for the production for Mandalorian. All the products that came out with his image on it and still do.
Grogu's making money as we speak. He's silently just out there cranking money out.
So
hello. I'm curious about how you feel about that.
Yeah, it's a content thing, right? It's not about good, bad, indifferent, or even as Mando here saying crap. good, decent.
What the fuck?
Although I don't agree with you, Skeleton Crew being crap if you're going in order, but
yeah, I don't need that.
But there is a lot of different venues to all this where they're making money, right? Like, because now these streaming apps have commercials, and they're probably I don't know this, so don't quote me on this, but more than likely, if you have a premiere titled show and you get a commercial on there, my guess is it costs more. It's not just randomly generated commercials, right?
I agree.
It's just like, I'm sure Netflix. Yeah. I'm sure Netflix is going to be charging an arm and a leg for the Christmas football games, right? For if they're doing anything, because they're going to have some kind of commercial branding because there's timeouts and shit. So, the announcers aren't going to be able to talk for 4 straight hours. So they're going to have to do something. I know Netflix doesn't have commercials, but they'll do some kind of branding. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's saturating the brand because it's still bringing in, right? And Ed was right. There's always content, there's always things, and there's always fallback. We talk about it, and it's every brand has it, is your fallback characters, right? If McFarlane's putting out a wave of toys, more than likely there's a Batman in that wave. If Marvel's putting out a wave of toys, it's Spider-Man in that wave. If Star Wars is putting out a wave of toys, there's a Vader in that wave or a Yoda in that wave. And they've got a lot of premier characters that are remembered. So all this other stuff, while maybe Acolyte didn't do well, but if somebody saw some lightsabers, one kid spent 5 minutes watching lightsaber fights, guess what? They're going to go want a lightsaber, and then they're going to look at Vader. They're going to revisit these things, and it might pull a generation of people in. And that's, even we talk about this with the prequel trilogy and the sequel trilogy and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. We say crap for things, right? But we're all original trilogy people. The prequels were somebody's first Star Wars, and that's their love. The sequels was some kid's first Star Wars, and that's their love.
Yeah, I agree.
So it builds. It continues to build over and over again, and they do this stuff all the time.
And a little as not everybody liked Acolyte, but there were some things that came out of Acolyte that people are purchasing, like that helmet that dude had on. Like, I think people were like really gravitating towards that in the beginning.
Yeah, like, the lightsaber too. Like a lot of that stuff was merch. A lot of that stuff did sell.
Yeah.
It is. There's going to be hits and misses with everything. There's going to be, it was rare for Marvel to have so many hits so quickly, but now we're seeing the ups and downs. But you look at any franchise, none of them, especially if they go long term. Indiana Jones, long term, some misses, right? Jurassic Park, some misses, right? Like, they always have those. And then in the moment, sometimes we revisit them and we enjoy them a little bit more, because then we're like, man, that wasn't as bad as we initially thought. It wasn't bad. Because then we see a lot more crap. So do I think they're running things through focus groups? I don't know. I mean, they have a lot of creatives that they pay for. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I'll just watch the Superman teaser trailer, and like, you think James Gunn cares about what a focus group's saying? That's his baby. It's his writing. I don't think he's putting it through a focus group. And I think they're doing a lot of this stuff, because if they started having focus, they have test screenings, right? There's test screenings that they take notes on, because there's things that sometimes don't go, sometimes do go. I think, Steve, was it a test screening of Captain America you saw, or you saw a preview screening or something of that?
No.
I thought you did with that.
It was the first 30 minutes of Iron Man I saw, way before the movie came out.
Yeah. So. I thought there was something that you saw that they made some changes to, but they're always going to make tweaks. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's always focus group, because like a focus group, like we've seen TV shows make fun of those focus groups, right? And it's true, because a group of 10 is not the group of 1 million. Right? Like, the group of 10, it's hard to base that off of. It's just like any survey.
Oh, yeah.
So, Yeah, we got a lot of comments that we're here.
Yeah, no, he said no, but Al corrected. He said just like with franchises, there's hits and misses. Star Wars has more hits, like you were saying, although same thing.
Yeah, so more overall and financial hits,
Fast
right?
and the Furious is an exception.
Yo, Fast and the Furious has
laughing.
like one shitty movie, and the rest are great.
Is that one shitty movie actually a shitty movie now? Which one? Which one?
Nine. Nine sucks, man.
I can't watch any of those.
Nine sucks, dude.
Oh.
Fast 10 is like the best time you're ever gonna have watching a movie. It's so ridiculous.
And Mando, they've had probably more misses in the last couple years, but
well, what you're looking at is the last couple of years right here.
Well, it's more than that. I mean,
but yeah, there's a lot more. I mean, these are just kind of the main focal ones there.
But again, what do you consider a hit and a miss, right?
Well, and that's
some of these are financial hits for them. Ahsoka being only $100 million for that show, Boba Fett only being $100 million for that show, Kenobi being only $100 million for that show, guaranteed that probably made more than that back on other things. Mando made that back tenfold for them.
Without question.
Those movies still made money.
They did. Those last two Star Wars movies made fucking money. Like it's not like they didn't tank. They made money.
Oh yeah,
they made money. The only and I know it's probably the best one in the mix, but Andor costing $350 for 12 episodes. That's kind of high. So I don't know if that returned because that's not selling you merch. That's not. I mean, I don't know who's buying Andor.
I don't know if Andor was Andor. I mean, it was great. Andor was great,
right?
But Andor made me watch everything else that came after Andor.
Well, and that's the thing, right? It brings in new audiences, and that's how you measure things, right? Like Skeleton Crew is going to start bringing in another younger audience because the focus on these kids, right? Yeah. So then that kind of steamrolls. And that's all these things. What all these things do is carry over, bringing in new fans, keeps us old fans, even if we're angry old men shaking our fists at clouds at things, we're still involved and we're still buying it. We're still watching it. We're still downloading it. We're still whatever. And they just keep growing. Yeah. Marvel does this. DC does this. They're all doing this. And it's when you have these big box office failures, and it's what we talked about last week on the show and stuff, when I said the grandma, the grandpa, the kids going into these things is kind of how you start losing the growth, right? When you're only appeasing to one section. That's why I can't remember who coined it, but somebody coined it. It's like a 5-tier approach, right? You got to hit all the demographics. Mm-hmm. And these do, even though Andor probably only hits one or two of them, but it grows that one or two demographic who wouldn't watch a Star Wars movie but sees Andor and is like, oh man, like this is different.
And as I mentioned earlier, Andor is the best as far as reviewed and rated. So it's going to carry some weight that way. Yeah. I think the big thing in the Forbes article is they kind of look at it in a vacuum, where they look at these, especially the Disney Plus shows, because they look at them as a streaming service and they wonder how it's financially viable. And I would love, and it would probably take an entire show to really break down that, because if you look at Disney Plus, you're looking at roughly 158 million subscribers. If you average it to like $16 a month, that's 2.5 billion per month, 30 plus billion in a year. But what is required to run that kind of a platform, and what kind of other things do you have to pay out? Like I don't know the answer to this. If there are certain titles that, you're paying out some type of royalty, is it a flat fee? Do you pay it based on the number of people watching it? I mean, I would love to take the time to break that down and understand.
The thing is nothing's flat though, Ed. None of this is flat across the board, right? Like,
no, well, you have to make.
You're going to pay premium for premium titles. You're going to pay. I mean, the difference here is Disney owns all of this, right? Correct. And these are major titles that they bring in, just like Warner Brothers owning DC, just like like Netflix is. Why do you think they're investing heavily in these properties from Zack Snyder and all these things? Because Zack Snyder did make some big box office hits. So yeah, let's invest because it's going to bring more streamers.
Yeah.
And that's going to keep people from continuing to keep the month-to-month going. Yeah.
No.
So, yeah, it's an interesting article. The thing is we'll never find out the dollar amounts. It's just impossible, right? Because you've already got hundreds of hours of views on a lot of these series, right? And like, it's impossible.
All right. So my last thing is
you don't have the kids show either, though.
No, these were just
no, I know. I'm just saying that thing probably generates a lot too, because there's a lot of toys for the young Jedi stuff out there too.
Yeah, well, there's no animation here. I mean, you can go deep into that. So the last one is not really a news thing. This is more of a, I'm just going to get on my soapbox for a minute.
What grinds my gears?
Yes. You know what really grinds my gears?
Ed, yo, god damn it, go ahead, please. What grinds your gears, Ed?
So obviously, I am a huge Star Wars fan. I absorb tons of content. I watch tons of other shows. Lots of people like us.
A ridiculous picture. I'm sorry, I can't. I haven't even heard a word you said, Ed. This is insane and hilarious. Like,
so with the Skeleton Crew, it has been overwhelming positive response.
Except for Raging Mando. He does not like it.
Well, and there are a few out there who don't like it, and for various reasons, and most of them I get. They're like, it's too kid oriented, various things, and that's fine. But there has been at least 2 individuals who do what we do here, so they consider themselves Star Wars aficionados. And when the main gripe is that it's not original, and because you've seen when I put these slides together, I can kind of pull out and say, hey, look, this matches up with A New Hope, this matches up from Empire, and it seems like that they have an issue with that, and that drives me insane, because as a true Star Wars fan, that has been what Star Wars is from the beginning. George Lucas has gone on record and said that Star Wars has a rhythm and a rhyme to it. It's like poetry. I think he says, and it quotes it, saying that every Star Wars kind of rhymes with the next one. It's less about building and more about circling back. How does what comes before breathe into what comes now and what comes next? I mean, even if you go to the original Star Wars movies and then you can compare them, at some point we'll do it, like the Kurosawa movies. I can pull scenes and match them up with those movies and say, here's the inspiration. Now, it's not a direct copy, as Skeleton Crew is not a direct copy, but it has the same beats in Star Wars. And for you to say you're a true Star Wars fan, but you don't like that, it, like I said, it makes my head spin. And I look at The Last Jedi, which in my opinion is the shittiest Star Wars film of all. And it is the one that calls nothing back to any other Star Wars. So if you want original and that's what you want, I mean, that's, yeah, like I said, grinds my gears, makes my head explode. So, all right. Let me get off my soapbox now that I've vented.
Hold on.
I think we need a whole, I think what we do need right now is
I gotta play this real quick. And I'm just saying, that's always you, dog. Unlimited power. Go ahead.
I think Ed needs his own intro for what grinds his gears. And every week,
I don't have that. It's not often that something pushes me to that point.
Ed is going to have like 6 different intros when all.
We're just going to sit back. It's just going to be Ed's show with us in the background. Laughing.
The Ed show with the guys, Ed and the guys.
I am not giving up, Ed. Don't fucking ask me. Leave me alone. He's not going nowhere. But at the same time, like, yo, I mean, I agree with you on those levels. I think sometimes we do get a little bit bent out of shape. I do get bent out of shape about certain things. I am probably one of those as well that probably gets upset about certain things, and but you're not wrong. Like, I do enjoy everything, so that's probably some, that's just me. I just like everything. I don't really care half the time. But I know where you're coming from, man. I do get it. There's sometimes it gets a little like, damn, you don't like none of this shit. Like, there's nothing you like about this.
And
Like,
you can not like it. I don't mind. People are going to like different things, but it's almost to the level of saying, you know what? Star Wars is really good, but John Williams fucking sucks. So anything that John Williams, like, that's part of Star Wars. You can't really separate one from the other.
This is the best when you got a guy wearing a Star Wars shirt that hates everything Star Wars. You're like, what the fuck? You get that shit a lot with superhero characters too. It's like this guy's like running around wearing a Batman shirt but hates every Batman movie. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you can't find nothing to like out of any of them. They're vastly different.
In the comics, he does this. They don't do the live action. Well, because it's impossible to film. I don't know.
Well, that's me about Batman. Like, y'all know how I feel about Batman, and
we know how you about Christian Bale.
Of course,
Batman,
of course. But you even in those Christian Bale movies, you find shit to love in every Batman movie. Even I can find shit to love
down there. The Dark Knight down, like, hands
it's
down.
hard. It's hard, but I can find things to like in Batman and Robin if I really try. It's hard, but there's something in there.
Oh yeah, of course. The scene with the dressing and the cod pieces, you love that scene.
I mean, minus the nips, it is our first live action Nightwing suit. I'm just saying. It's pretty good.
Well, I mean, we got, Titans, but that was
like an Iron Man suit with a blue stripe on it. Anyways, that's not Star Wars. Sorry.
I mean, and I'm with you on that. I can buy with you.
I mean, Skeleton Crew is probably the most original Star Wars we've seen in forever. It has a whole different feel. I mean, it doesn't really line up with most other Star Wars we've gotten to this point, but they are calling back and tying things in, because I know some people have said, oh, well, this doesn't even feel like Star Wars. I can see that.
That's what's weird. It's so out of place, but it also feels so right. Like, I don't know.
And it is those rhythms and beats that makes it Star Wars. If that weren't there, this would just be Stranger Things in space.
I agree with you, Ed. It's like you get mad when they use special effects. Oh, special effects fucking suck. But then when you start using practicals, then it's like, oh, well, it's not Star Wars enough. How the fuck is it not Star Wars enough when they're using fucking practical fucking effects? And that's the shit that started the original shit. So, like, you just can't pick everything the fuck apart to be like, oh, well, this fucking sucks. Like, I don't understand. God damn. They took like. Go ahead.
The only thing that didn't really feel like Star Wars in any of these so far has been the biker kids from Boba Fett and the Coruscant shit from Obi-Wan, because that just felt like they were walking around on a green screen set. Felt like they were walking around where Ed was shooting the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they had that weird like space ice cream. I'm like, I don't want any
weird. It was so weird. But then it's crazy because there was a part in that where the fucking probe droid came down talking to her and shit like that. That was fucking dope. Was that
on Obi-Wan?
That was like on the Coruscant planet where she actually met with somebody and like she was on the Coruscant planet. Yeah. Gave her the information.
Remember there was like random groups of like 3 people, but there was like 6 of them just spread randomly around. It's like, this just feels so fake and not.
It felt fake. There were definitely then the whole train thing and.
But everything in Skeleton Crew, like to me, like it feels like I'm in the right place. So.
It's a tough line, and I understand. Like Star Wars fans are passionate. Like they do. I get it. Besides Marvel, probably one of the most passionate fandoms.
Thank you, Archangel.
Out there. So I don't know, man. Anyway, Jesus.
Well, that's the thing, right? Franchise covers a lot of different bases and widely has, it casts a wide net. Marvel does it, Star Wars does it. It casts this wide net. They cover a lot of genres. You're not going to make everyone happy because not everyone's a fan of all those fucking genres. So you're going to have people that don't like something as opposed to something else. If you don't spread, then you're going to get pigeonholed and everyone's going to be, you're going to get typecast and it's no good.
All right. Well, listen, we're at a 9:30 mark. So it's time to get into Skeleton Crew. And I know you got your good stuff. I'm gonna play spoilers right away, so just hit it real quick while you pull your stuff. And if you haven't, watched it yet, you're welcome to drop off. Yada yada yada. You know our rating system. Our rating system is hero, sidekick, 0. I don't know the rest of the sound, but Steve knows it by heart. I do not. You're Glee Geeks.
We used to kick it. It was good.
But Ed, I'll let you take it away, man. Go ahead. Do your thing.
So overall, I think that this is the
very true.
I had to throw that in there because we just got off that.
Yeah.
I think this is the weakest of the ones that we've gotten so far.
Agreed.
There were some pieces in the middle to where it felt like if you'd have given me 10 more minutes, especially with the whole scene with those two groups, the Troik and the Hattons, like it would have made more sense. It just felt, I don't know, that whole piece just felt a little off, and they needed to do a little bit more build on that. But to the same point that the overall story and the mystery is still there, and I can't say it enough, these kids and their acting is fantastic, especially coming off of Acolyte. Like, it is night and day different. That whole scene at the end when Fern is upset and the interaction with Wim, I mean, Neil through this whole thing.
Neil was the MVP of this episode.
Fucking Neil.
So
Neil's the hero.
So while it was,
he's so good. I just love listening to him talk.
Good. Oh yeah, it was still good, and I still enjoyed it. So
now let me ask you a question. With Neil's character, is there like is that all CGI or is that practical? I don't know what
practical
that is.
Mix. Practical CGI highlights.
Yep,
it's really good. Like, they really do a good job with Neil, man. Like, I love how they make him practical, but like his nose and all that, like his eyes, definitely his eyes are CG, but like they do a good job with expressions and stuff like that.
Fernando makes a good point. He loves all the kids except Wim. He says he's annoying. Wim is not having any sort of an arc yet. He's just still sort of the same, like, this is exciting. But at a certain point, like, some shit's gone down. You're gonna have to, like, everybody, all your other friends are starting to feel the weight of this, and Wim's
they
not
are,
showing
aren't
it
they?
Yet. So
yeah.
So that's a little, but I think this episode did more to cement Jude Law's relationship with the core group of kids to move that story along further. This was because at the end of the last episode, there was a lot of mistrust and a lot of like, trouble in paradise. But then this one, they had this really good slight distraction, which creates a tighter bond from them, and also ends up kind of removing Smee from the equation, thus cementing them as a core group now. So it just moved that along for me a little bit.
Did it happen that way, or was there any intent behind it on his part? Because he knew that they weren't really trusting him that much. So
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened with him when he went off and got those weird horse deer.
I know. I don't think it's
things. I don't know what he just came back with them. I'm like, what happened over there? Because it sounds like he's a good guy, but he did some fucking dirty shit over there.
There's going to be an episode where we're going to see all this played back.
I'm going to go back, and on the other side of where he just brought all those, he slaughtered all those people. Like, there's just thousands of dead bodies. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's dark. I would hope not, but
I'm just saying, like, that just felt too convenient there. But I felt tension when you had all those kids on the front lines of that shit. I felt tense for him. I felt bad for Neil. I'm like, oh my god, please don't hurt the boy.
They weren't. I knew.
No, I knew that he's not gonna get killed. But like, I don't even want Neil to get a scratch. I don't want anything to harm that precious boy's head, man. I want Neil to come out of this like just. I need it, man. I really do. I feel for these kids.
So, what was y'all's rating on the episode?
I give it a high sidekick.
High sidekick.
Yeah,
it wasn't as strong. It's a lot of filler stuff.
Agreed.
Pacing a little, but I get it because you're looking at an 8-episode show.
38 minutes.
You need these. It was good. Yeah, it was good timing.
Still felt short though.
Yeah.
Well, it's 38 minutes, but there's
5 minutes of credits.
Yeah,
you got
so
the whole opening.
just like the damn Mega Man.
Business.
So yeah, it was good. But it probably was the one I was the least engaged watching until the end.
Well, there was
So
a
they
lot
got
of
to that
build up.
temple room.
There's a lot of build up to action, and then nothing. Even when Smee lost his shit, like build up, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, turn off the switch.
Come on, True Law. You didn't have to do that fucking move. That's like those assholes that roll around on the ground for no reason. Why you gotta jump like that? You didn't need to do all that.
It was a oh, just go up behind him and just take it off. Like,
did you need to jump like that?
Dive.
He landed on his feet and then rolled. You don't need to do all that.
Unnecessary.
It's like that episode of Seinfeld where George jumped over the puddle and did that.
Hello, you're gonna start bringing up Seinfeld references. We're gonna go at it again.
Oh, I got another batch of questions for that.
All right, Ed, I'll let you take the stage on this one, man.
All righty then.
What do you guys rate it? All high sidekicks across the board?
Oh yeah, high sidekicks across the board.
Mm-hmm. Here's where we open. They show up at the planet. They have those satellites, which I think right away, at least for me, I'm like, okay, they're not at the right place because those satellites were trashed. You could tell that they were destroyed.
But that's the barrier. It's the same barrier that the other planet had.
But as far as visual representation, in the top right, that is the Starlight Beacon, which was the space station that was part of the Great Works. I think it almost looks identical to those satellites in there. And I know some others had talked about there also being a possible to the Operation Cinder, which are the little black ones in the other side. They were satellites that Palpatine used to alter the weather to completely wipe out planets. But similar, I don't think they have anything to do with it. But
or the mining machines from Star Trek.
So,
I'm just saying.
I mean, it was funny, but I don't understand the whole point of when they show up and I want to call him Jude Law, but he's like, "Oh, we're here, the planet." And she's like, "Oh, no adults on the bridge." Like, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. It was kind of like, it was a moment of like,
they chased him off for a second, only for the ship to get caught in the automatic landing sequence, and he comes and runs right back up again. So,
where the hell is the cockpit on this damn ship? Am I confused? Am I missing something? Like I keep looking at this ship and I'm like, where is it, in the side or is it in the front?
I think it's off to the side. It's kind of like the Millennium Falcon, but on the opposite side.
Okay, all right. I thought it was crazy. I'm like, where the hell is this at? Like I couldn't tell. So okay, well, good to know. That's kind of cool though. I didn't think about the Millennium Falcon kind of style, and it actually has the same window too.
Yeah, as you're looking at it right here.
Yeah, that's
which is. It shows up in a lot of ships in Star Wars, that kind of look.
Yeah.
And they think they see their houses as they're landing.
Yeah, this planet was fucked.
Yeah.
This is old and decrepit, and I don't know where they had.
But it does lead to the overall mystery, right? Because this is the same planet, just like they had. Just like they have. Yeah. And it's not Ad Atten, it's Ad Alden or some weird fucking shit.
No, I was gonna say it doesn't get revealed till a little bit later, but I have a funny little piece for the name of this.
Okay.
This is Fallout in space.
That's what I was thinking. This is Fallout shelters.
Look at you, Alil.
I thought
he watched Alil watched that show. He thinks he knows Fallout now. Fucking guy.
Right. He didn't play the game. Yeah.
Exactly. I watched the one show and now I'm an expert.
Now he's an expert. I guess you know what it was. This didn't give me the. It's not the 50s look as much. It more looks like something happened in the 80s. So I didn't really get fallout from it. But I do like that it's like, okay, so all these planets, and the owl lady last episode was saying that all these planets got destroyed, but like they're not destroyed. They're there. They're just kind of like, or at least this one's there. That's like fucked up, but like it used to be like Ad Atten. They even had playgrounds. They probably had schools and shit just like they got over there.
Dude,
that's what I mean. Like, they were all built to mirror each other for some reason.
Dude,
there's a reason why, and there's a reason why they were destroyed and kept moving on.
This has Empire and New Order and First Order written all over it. This is not the Rebellion kind of thing that they would do. But then again, I'll be honest with you, I could be wrong because both sides are fucking wrong anyway.
This is probably one of the best mysteries I've gotten in Star Wars shit. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck they're going with this.
Yeah, I don't know who's behind this shit. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Like,
but you're right, John. It probably is First Order.
I mean, yeah, it seems so sinister, you know. So
we got to make them. We got to work them in somehow.
Yeah. Well, it's
these
true,
planets were destroyed a while ago.
If you go back to the first episode, all these kids have to take a test to be put into a job classification,
and that's what they did. Yeah, the
Empire. That's the same thing like the Empire does. Okay, you're this. It's how they get the troopers. They initially start with clones, and they start basically kidnapping kids.
Well, they don't even know what the Empire is here. They think that they're still part of the fucking way before shit.
Well, right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they were lied to build this thing, and who built it? Who started this?
I need to go find me a planet that just thinks it's stuck in the 80s forever. I'll go live there. Awesome. Fucking tight.
Yo, but
Blockbusters on every corner and Pizza Huts.
The good Pizza Huts. Not this Pizza Hut shit they got now. No, old Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
When they had the tables with the fucking stained glass lights.
Well, it was all smoky inside and ashtrays all over the tables.
And it had those all you can eat.
Remember smoking, no smoke? Would you like them smoking or non-smoking? Like, they put you in a non-smoking, but you're right next to the you're like next to the smoking section, and there's like this weird little half glass barrier. You're like, what the fuck? Like whole clouds of smoke
coming over. Like,
I'm 4 years old.
Shit. See, you made me forget what I was gonna say. God damn, you went to the whole rabbit hole. Damn. Oh man. I don't know. Go ahead, it'll come back to me. Shit.
It looks like the lobby of Jurassic Park right there.
Well, I was gonna say,
all of a sudden that banner falls, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
When dinosaurs rolled the earth, like, "Oh, you got to get the fuck out of there."
Would this have been better with, like, instead of people? Would it have been better with like animals, like just like a Jurassic Park kind of feel? This would have been kind of cool if there were some more endangered monsters on this planet, and they were trying to get away from them. But I think that's coming also in like another episode. So I'm gonna leave
it and Gundarks and
coming. Yeah. So.
No, because these are mirror planets, right? Like, if they're mirror planets, they're showing what the fall of these planets look like.
So each one is a mirror planet. Every planet they go to is a mirror planet.
I really believe every planet in that circle
that the owl lady showed.
It's all built the same way, just like we said with the Fallout shelters. They're all built the same way with all their own communities, and they're all working toward the same goal. And as these societies start falling apart, whoever's in charge moves whatever is happening here to that next colony that's still working.
Oh man, this is gonna be very interesting when all this is over with. Like, where will this story end up in the part of the galaxy? And like, where, like, this is I'm kind of digging this story.
It's gonna be that weird Sith planet that Palpatine's clones were all in.
But if they don't stick the landing, if there's not a good explanation, it's gonna seriously hamper this shit.
Oh, it's gonna,
without question.
They're gonna burn the shit down.
So if Atten if they're all the same, let's just say, because we see those Old Republic credits and they're so let's just say they are a place where they mine and manufacture credits, which is why they look brand new, because they're making them there, and they were kind of like the Fort Knox of the Old Republic, and they're all the same. Was it that they were 9? Somebody knew they were there, and they went and searched, and one by one they were found, and then they just get obliterated because people are just robbing them, and they just leave them behind, and the people who are left there kind of go feral, as we've seen here. Well, so Atten's the only one that they never found. So it's not like, at least that's what I'm thinking.
Well, no, they did find him. The ship that they're on, those pirates found them, and they got fucking killed because they found that planet.
Or
because remember,
the ship was there, right?
Or the captain of that ship. We haven't met the supervisor yet. There could be some link there. Or whoever's in charge of shit.
Well, that, and remember in the very first one, when they got first one on the ship, that Wim tells Neil, "Hey, look at these two. They look like they died in a duel," and they were the skeletons. So ship crashes, there's still 2 of them, or somebody else comes on and they fight and they kill each other, and then it just goes silent. Like they found it, but they couldn't do anything because they died before they could.
Or they were killed by the captain, right? Because if you look at a lot of these old pirate tales, right, the captains kill the entire crew to hide where the ship is. So the supervisor, as Steve said, could be that main final captain. This is all buried ship to hide his appearance. Nobody's ever seen the supervisor.
Maybe,
but I would
think
Oz. It's the Wizard of Damn Oz.
But I would think
that. There you go. It's the Wizard of Oz mixed in with this shit. Yes.
But
right when Wicked's coming out.
But this seems like that would have happened a long time ago because, well, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know the timeline. I don't know the timeline yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some time, but like, I don't know. Smee seems like all with the pirate shit. He doesn't seem like he's that old. Like the ship still moved, you know. It's
but it was buried. But it was buried, and shit was growing over it. Like massive. That force was on top of this thing. Like,
yeah, it was.
So
I guarantee it's been a long time.
The mystery shall unravel itself.
The captain finds all of their, is rifling through their stuff and finds Wim's credits. And here's when SM-33 is starting to kind of glitch out because of this new planet.
Right.
Because he doesn't recognize them, then he does, and then he tells them that he recognizes the planet, which is at Akron.
Is it
Ohio?
Akron? Is it called Akron? Ain't that shit?
Is LeBron James gonna come out of here?
Well, it's spelled differently, but
the dad's Wim's dad is LeBron.
That would be hilarious if
Zero.
One of those fucking warrior guys from one of the armies came out with some like fucking chalk dust, like
Zero.
Like, oh shit!
I disown this show then. At that point, LeBron comes out anywhere. Somebody's wearing a Cavs jersey with the the 23. I'm out.
You know that'd be I kind of would like that, but I'm just saying
that would be funny if all of them were wearing like last year's championship shirts. You know what I mean? like
corroded and shit and crazy. All right, go ahead.
So the kids are wandering around, realizing that this is identical to their planet, but not quite. I think this is funny when they find King Headless.
Yeah.
Or King No Head. Again, they're just being kids.
I wasn't a fan of the girl who they met. I didn't understand what she was saying at first. It took me a second to kind of understand what she was talking about. I thought she talked alien. So I was just like, oh. But then
French accent?
Yeah, it took a second for me to like kind of grasp it. I was like, okay.
I love the look of this episode though, how smoky everything is.
Yeah.
Everything just looks so decrepit and it just looks really cool.
Apocalyptic.
Yeah. And then she finds him, and the first question is, what flag do you fly? There.
Freak.
Yeah, freak flag. Look at Ed. Ed adding little jokes to his slides.
Let that freak flag fly.
Yeah, Ed found a whole new thing.
So what do you think about the armor they have? What is that helmet? Is that like a take on some sort of...
Hers I didn't recognize, but there are a lot of Imperial helmets on this planet. So the Empire was definitely here.
Yes, Ed. See, so there you go.
On both sides.
Yeah. It wasn't one of those helmets a mud helmet like from Solo?
Yeah, there's a lot because it's that. It's also the same as General Veers when he's on the AT-AT in Empire. Yeah. I mean, that helmet style is very common in the Empire, but there's a ton of them on this planet.
Yeah.
So the Empire was here at some point.
Interesting.
And this is when she tells them, after realizing they're just kids, that they go and hide from the Hattas or the Hattans as they kind of roll through in a tank, which does kind of look like one of the tanks from the Old Republic video game. Similar.
It looked like, I thought it was a droid tank or some shit like that. Like, the ones.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first.
It's kind of in between the two.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they talk about, and she realizes that they are the ones who stole their Eopes, which we saw for the first time in a Phantom Menace. But Eopes are actually kind of spread across the galaxy. They're on several planets.
Yeah, Obi-Wan rode one.
He did.
Yeah.
This one farted.
Yes.
Terrible.
Star Wars fart jokes.
Oh, the CGI has gotten much better from Phantom Menace to these ones. You can see that just in the screen grab.
Yeah,
Yes.
it looked pretty good. It looks again, Steve,
Looks
like
real.
you said, everything looks weathered and like kind of dusty and old. I mean,
it's the reflections of everybody and those creatures walking by, and you see that reflection in the water. It's everything. They didn't skip any single detail, you know.
So here's General Strix, who's the one in charge of those Troik.
Who cares?
But, and
We're never gonna
this
see
is-
him again.
This whole thing just feels off. I don't know if it's the writing or what.
Did.
But
It felt
just
so off. It did. I agree.
I didn't care for any of this. I was just like,
No.
I don't care. This isn't the right planet. Unless they're gonna take that weird French girl with them, none of this matters.
Which I thought they were
No.
going to do. I thought they were going to do it first.
I'm like, oh, they need a warrior. They're gonna be like, we have to take her. We need to get her off this planet. And then he's gonna be like, go with them. They will give you a better life. You know, some shit. And
Nope.
no,
Stay.
Yeah.
nothing.
If this guy was Van Damme, that would have been perfect, Steve.
Oh,
Take your fancy clothes and your black silk underwear.
Now, I do like how he makes the comment about that they treat the children like adults and that they are warriors and we expect them to lead into battle, which I know it's been mentioned by quite a few, but it is a very common theme in Star Wars, especially because that's exactly what the Jedi do.
oh shit.
We're going to take you from a child. We're going to raise you like an adult to be a warrior.
Just ask X-23 how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ahsoka how that works out.
So
Prison
Well-
shanked with a lightsaber knife. That's fucked up.
while this whole weird thing is going on, we back at the ship, and his shirt looks just like the shirt that Lando wears. I had
Yo,
to-
didn't it? Yo, I was
looks
like, oh, he
just
has a
like
Lando
Lando's
shirt on.
Yes. He's stealing everybody's wardrobe. I got another picture later on.
Yeah, but he don't got Lando's hairline though. Hey.
Hello, what have we here? But this is good how SM33 sees everybody before he does, and then there's the kind of reveal. And then it's also funny when he's just like, all right, just kill me now.
It's very Han Solo-esque.
I liked earlier when he was like activating babysitting mode. Back on the ship, baby. Don't make me count. I was like, that's pretty good. I like that.
Here is
One of those scenes.
where the scenes really get good when it comes to Neil.
Mm-hmm.
That he's like, I'm not going to run off with them. I'm not a gun kid. It's just not who I am. And I love the story that his little brother kicked his ass.
He did. He's like, he beat me.
He's half my size.
Yeah,
And he beat me. Damn. Neil's such a sweetheart. I don't want anything bad to happen to him.
Yo, no, you don't. You just want to grab him and be like, no, Neil.
I will
don't
keep you safe.
I swear, if they sacrifice Neil,
No,
upset, man.
they're not, because Neil is somewhat the equivalent to Grogu for this show. He is going to be the one that everybody loves. They're going to have plush toys of him.
It's not even that. His character is the heart of the team.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Lou.
I
Definitely.
mean,
hard.
even here, he gets his meal. He sees some other kids that are hungry, and he's like, hey, you guys want to eat? And I love the whole conversation that he has with her about, like, you guys are always fighting. Why don't you just say sorry?
Only if that
So-
was real life, Neil. It seems like he's speaking to real life shit. Like, yeah, if that was that easy.
Damn, Fernando's one to fucking scapegoat Wim. He's like, kill Wim. Who cares? Fernando don't like Wim.
I did like how when Wim met up with the girl, that he's like, oh, are you an army of kids who are battling the adults to take control of the
Yo.
planet? I was like, that's awesome.
When he said that, I was thinking about Steve. I was like, man, remember that story you was reading about the kids like took over or something? I can't remember what it was, Steve. It was a book about like the circus land or so. I can't remember what it was.
No, you're thinking about Fantastic Land. That's
Yeah.
a crazy ass book. That's not so much
Yeah.
about kids, but that's a wild.
Then you think about Lord of the Flies and like shit like that. You're just like, oh man,
Oh.
I actually thought that's what it was actually at first. I was like, oh, it's a planet of kids.
I want real old school. I was thinking of that original Star Trek episode when the kids run the planet and they call them the Grups.
Oh, man.
Oh, see, I've been doing a bunch of these guest spots in the Horror Returns, reviewing all the Children of the Corn movies. So my first thought was like Malachi with a machete coming out of a fucking cornfield and cutting one of these fuckers down. Nope, that didn't happen.
No.
KB's the one you want to have the gun. Damn, is she good.
Man, she's a droid, dog. I ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing.
She's got enhancements, but she's not a droid.
Oh,
I think I'm joining Team Sean here. Like after this episode, I was like, how robotic she was moving and shooting and reacting.
Yes.
I'm like,
she's a fucking droid.
There's something missing here.
Yeah,
you know?
man. She's got to be.
Maybe AT-AT has that technology. We've just never seen that.
Right,
you keep bringing up Lobot, but like that one fucking example, and that wasn't like this.
I'm gonna tell you. There's one scene where she opens up her eyes, and she just opens up her eyes like Lobot. Like remember when Lobot did that in Empire? He opened up his eyes like that, and then it was that like it's the scenes are so similar. I was like, oh, well, maybe she's a Lobot character. Like I'm telling you, man, she's a fucking robot.
Her eyes.
Her parents made her, you know. Yeah, because we don't see her going to school. We just see her riding around here. We don't see any of that.
She was with Fern on the bike going to school.
She was with Fern,
and
but
with
we don't
Fern
know.
Going home from school. So
we don't know.
We didn't see her in class.
We didn't see her in class. We just saw her with Fern.
I'm not biting it. She's not an android. I'm not biting it.
All right.
So
I think this episode made me believe in Sean's theory.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Look, oh my God, I just found it right here, dude. Look. Hold on. I'm gonna get you. But yeah, keep doing your thing because I'm sure I'll share it at the end.
So this is the point where they get sent off. We think there's going to be a battle. The kids are going to get hurt, and it ends up being again Jude Law's character, because he's got 3 different names. So I was trying to figure out which one to call him. Captain Silvo. He shows up. He's got SM-33 in tow. And he's like, oh, I think these belong to you. I do not think that he just made a deal and bought them. I think something shady went down.
Yeah, there's something.
No, because in this society, money doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing credits because where are you going to go? We're going to go to the
there's
store
no store.
now?
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there a damn Walmart here? No.
Something just ain't right, dog. It's something.
No.
I'm telling you, the story's
Jude Law, Jedi mind. Well, not because he's not a Jedi, but mind tricked them and then slaughtered them all. That's it.
Damn, that'd be dark as shit for a show like this. But stranger things have happened.
I mean, we saw Anakin kill all them younglings. So I mean, it's
No, I think
younglings die in Star Wars. So
I think someone is following them. I think either Jalil White's character is part of the rebellion or some shit like that, and he has another group of like pirates that are on his side, and they all trust him because everybody liked him as the captain. So I think that like there's something else going on further in this story that we haven't seen yet that will play back after. I'm telling you,
that's 4 episodes. We'll see. Yeah.
Yep. Just like KB's a robot.
He's got Lando's shirt and he's wearing Han Solo's pants.
Oh shit. Nice combination.
He is raiding the Empire Strikes Back wardrobe.
Cyborg Urkel. Yep. Look at Neil getting a little kiss.
Yeah.
Good for you, Neil. Somebody talking in the background? All right, keep going.
So there's the tower in the distance, which they recognize as the supervisor tower that is off limits at Atten. But that is where they will find the information for which they need. And it's a very formal room. All the pillars, 9, 1 for each of the gem planets. And as they wander around, realizing that they're all represented here with the various coordinates to the planets, Atten's is wrecked. And SM-33 jumps right in and goes, oh, yeah, that was me. I did that.
Oh, at first when I saw that, I was like, lightsaber.
So, Alil's theory on they found Ad-Atten, they went to Ad-Atten. Whoever the fucking captain was at Ad-Atten is still on Ad-Atten.
Or his descendants or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on
Somehow
how old.
Somehow
And
he's
I, and I don't think they're mining gold or treasure. I think it's going to be some kind of fuel source. It might be coaxium or something like that. Like these planets all had that, and that's, once they get barren, maybe that's why they destroy the planet. There's something here that somebody, I mean, how do they power up the Death Star? I you know what I mean? Like giant floating space station. There's got to be something.
But what's Starkiller Base? What, 2, 3?
Well, right, or something. Something to power something. Who knows? Yeah, maybe the other side of Ad-Atten is Starkiller Base.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, Lil. I was thinking that too. I'm like,
that would be interesting.
That'd be crazy if Ad-Atten turned out to be Starkiller Base.
So
that's the great work. That's the great work they're doing.
Yeah,
turning it into a fucking weapon.
Yeah, could be.
And it could have been why, like, all these things. I mean, because they were all part of the Empire. They were mining for fuel things, and
they
eventually,
knew the
once
Empire.
The Death Star fell, then they decided that
they knew the Empire was going to fall, so they were like, you know what? Let's just make this side move over here. And after the Empire falls and the rebels take over, after a few years of them fucking around, we'll come out with this shit, fuck them all up.
But remember, they still thought that whatchamacallit was still around. Was it not Yavin? But what did they say? They said that during the war they must have missed the war because nobody knew about the war.
Alderaan,
yeah. So if Alderaan,
they missed that. Yeah, they have no idea the Civil War took place.
Yeah,
well, so because they're all in an enclosed planet. They're all enclosed. They don't know anything. They're kept separate. They're kept off the books.
Star Wars is so much bigger than these plans are so much bigger than this closed story that we had. So I guess there people wouldn't know half of the shit that went on.
So many planets. Not every person on every planet is going to know all the things about all the Star Wars. But
goddamn, you would think, motherfucker. Oh shit, they blew up that big ass fucking moon. They blew up 2 planets. Like you think, like that shit would go through the galaxy. Like yeah, that shit happened. It's crazy. So I don't know. 2 Death Stars, not 1, 2. They blew up 2 fucking planets. Like, come on, nobody knows. All right. Go ahead.
Well, then in episode 7, they blew up like 4 at once.
One shot.
They did, Steve. I forgot about that.
Like went through a planet into another one. Like, god damn.
So it was after SM-33 admits to destroying it that he iterates the phrase, which is, of course, is the title of this episode. And Fern gets all upset. I like this scene. I mean, again, the acting chops on these kids, and I know Fernando doesn't like Wim, but his way of talking to her was great, to where she's like, oh, you should have been the captain. He's like, we'd have died if I was the captain. Like, you're the one who got us here. So it was very heartfelt. And then, of course, it makes her realize, like, oh, shit, I got the answer. He's a droid.
I think women starting to figure out his role here. Like, it's not like, I don't know. I'm not a hater of him. I like him. Like, he's just a curious kid. Yeah. It don't bother me, but anyway.
So
I guess all the exposed cabling on SM-33 does kind of make it seem like he's a much older droid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, again, he's a droid, so I mean, it's great for the feel of the pirate, but you can just get him another leg. He doesn't need to have the peg leg.
You could just plug in another eye, right? There's a hole right there. I'm sure there's just like a fucking cable. Just
well, you can't do that because the rat's got to live somewhere.
I guess.
Make the rat a little house.
Make him a little house. I mean, he's mostly with Neil anyway. Neil's feeding him half the damn time.
So this is when we find out that he was programmed to not talk about Ad-Atten.
Mm-hmm.
And when she thinks she tricks him into giving up the information, there was one more piece of programming to where if anybody goes digging around, you just got to whoop their ass. And we get the start of what we saw back on the pirate base when he just starts to hulk out and is about ready to go to town on them.
He is.
But we got to get Jude Law's little fancy pants fucking whoop-de-woo. Little jump in from the side.
Well,
Little-
not
little
before
Cobra Kai moment.
Neil becomes the hero. And he overcomes his fear of everything and gets brave, throws the rock to distract him. It's like, leave my friends alone. And that's when you get your wonderful diving off switch moment.
Jude Law.
Like, you didn't need to jump to hit that. Like, look how high it is.
Parkour Jude Law.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of a superhero landing right there.
Like, it's not like it's okay. He jumped. I see it's high, right? But his hand is not up here, trying to reach it. His hand's right here. He could have just reached up and touched.
He could have did a real quick run and just went like that and just ran past. Yeah.
So,
John McClane, you are not.
Oh shit. Neil.
And Neil gets his little blackout at the end. Now
it just goes off, but I'm like, wow, really? It's gonna end right there?
That was it. Now, one of the things that I was wondering as I look at these kind of various tie-ins. So we talk about SM-33 with his name familiarity to Smee, the first mate, pirate. But with his 33 and the crazy secrets, you think there's also a connection to Club 33 because of the secrets?
What's Club 33?
The Disney Club.
Yes.
Ultra exclusive
Are we going
Disney.
that far?
Disney,
Again, layers
rooms.
upon layers.
Hello, can you neither confirm nor deny? Club 33. He's on mute. He's not. He's taking himself out of this fucking conversation.
But yes, it's a secret.
I'm not
club.
talking about Club 33.
I'd like to ask you some questions off the air then, if that's the case.
I've never been in, so.
So listen, I want to show you this comparison real quick. Thank you to Hero Path for on YouTube who played this. Ooh.
Oh, that's good. That is a good callback.
Oh, we're playing ourselves. Look at that. Come on.
Yes.
Oh.
I like that. That's really good.
Yeah, dog. That's what I was saying. I'm saying,
That's good.
She's a damn robot, Steve. She's a robot.
No,
Well,
I don't buy it.
she's a cyborg. She's not going to be a robot because the parents said that they have a life monitor on her. If she's a droid, there's no life. She's just on or off. You don't have to monitor her life signs. So, but cyborg, yes, without question.
Definitely.
And that is fantastic.
Yeah, right. Just
That is so good.
I know. It was so. I'm so glad I found it really
Love
quick.
it. Yes.
So, Lil, me and you, we on the same page on that one.
Yeah, and I didn't even see that scene, so I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about her
Well,
reaction,
Right when I seen that,
her
shit,
shooting, how accurate her shooting was, and then like how she just had no emotion. And she hasn't had emotion almost the I haven't seen any emotion from her.
none whatsoever.
She seemed pretty emotional when she thought that owl chick was dead.
Well, not really. She was like, "Are you okay?" Like, that's it. That's all she really did. She didn't really do.
Yeah, well, she went and asked the question and checked on her. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. She has shown. Maybe she's okay. I think she's shown some emotion here and there. I don't think she's acted like a robot. I think so. I'm not buying into it yet. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
When she gets shot,
and it sparks, then I'll be like, all right, you guys are right. And then that's it. Moving on. Because it doesn't really matter.
There's never going to be you were right.
It does matter.
Okay, fine.
I don't care.
So are they going to one of the other planets now?
Yeah,
because they don't have the coordinates to Aten.
But I think that a lot of shit needs to happen on Aten that we need to figure out, and we're running out of episodes. So like,
I think the next episode is going to figure that out, right? Because remember the dad.
Oh yeah,
like he was up to something. So
no, we haven't checked back in over there for a while.
Yeah,
so.
I think we're gonna have a longer episode with Aten without the kids.
So let me ask you a question right now. Where we at? Episode 4. Does this deserve a season 2?
Don't know how season 1 ends.
I mean, Steve makes a good point, right? If it doesn't stick the landing, no.
No, you're right.
I mean, at this point, we were all in on Acolyte because it wasn't bad. There were some off moments.
We were seeing the blemishes, but we were also like, the action's fucking good, and you know, like I don't know, like we gotta
remember
see.
It got to like episode 6, and then it started to.
We said if they stick the landing, though, if they stick the landing, it still might save the show.
Yep.
It was still there, and then the landing came, and it was like.
Because again, that was another
skid off the fucking runway, you know, into the goddamn Everglades or whatever. You know, yeah. They deployed the fucking emergency chute, but everyone was dead inside already. That's how that landing went.
Dark.
Then they started eating the survivors.
Like, God,
this is the movie Alive.
So
why are you eating each other? You're not stranded. You're in Florida.
So the only plot hole that I've seen in this one, well, the one that stands out, but I don't know if they're going to use it. So you're in a room that there are 9 planets, and it gives you the coordinates to all of them, including the one you're on. So that's replicated on all 9. You only need to get to the one, but that's the only one that you destroyed the coordinates on. You know, in theory, unless you went to all 9 and destroyed that same one on all of them, I mean, I can look at, because they named 6 of them, so I can go to at Atu, and unless they went to it, the coordinates for At-Aten are going to be there.
Maybe they did. We just
or
don't know that
At-Avra.
yet.
Exactly. So
you gotta mute Steve.
So they get like a wild montage scene next episode where they're going to all these different planets trying to find the coordinates, and every one of them is fucked up, and all the planets are different in weird ways, you know? That would be cool.
Is it an 80s music montage?
Yes! 100% yes! Yes. And on one of the planets, they have to get out on speeder bikes, all of them. And Niels has a fucking basket in the front. Come on, bro. I'm telling you. Let's do it.
Doing the ET.
The song from the trailer.
Maybe they're all dead. Maybe everybody's dead.
It's just a fever dream. This is the last little glimpse of life that we saw that Neil had before he fell off of the fucking ship as it rose out of the ground.
So it's true Wizard of Oz.
It's fucking Jacob's Ladder.
That's what I said. Jacob's Ladder scenario. Yeah.
It was all a dream.
All right. Well, we said it all.
All right.
This is I don't know if we're gonna have a show next week.
It's Christmas.
Well, it's Christmas Day. So
I'm probably gonna be home not doing shit.
I'm gonna be home and I ain't doing shit either, dog. So I'll be honest with you.
I won't do that.
We may have an episode next week because honestly, I don't see why not.
And, well,
Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, we might have a because I mean it's coming on, so we get to review it. So why not just talk about it? Although you could chime in from Chicago, and like you ain't doing nothing. What you gonna be doing?
I'll be with family.
So what? Doing what?
At 9 o'clock at night?
Fuck.
Yeah. They're not.
Catching up.
Wait, yo, first of all, let me check you real quick. Because you the same dude that said, I'm gonna jump on while I'm on a ship with my family. I'm gonna jump on while I'm in a hotel at a Disney hotel. I'm gonna jump on while
I jumped on in line at Indiana Jones, the ride.
What you're trying to say is Stargeekz not worth you jumping on? Is that what it is?
It ain't
wow.
Oh, it all comes out. Here it is. It's all coming out now.
No,
I
didn't say that at all.
The power struggle is real. Lil's like, I don't like being.
Is that all you want?
That's it. Exactly. Put me in the top quadrant. That's all that matters. Now
I don't like it. This doesn't feel. Go back. It's the wrong day for this.
No. Lil's gonna close out the show tonight. So you know what? No. You go back. You close out the show for me. I can end it.
All right. Well, that's it for tonight. This is Lil.
This is Sean.
This is Steve.
And this is Ed.
And may the force be with you.
Always.
Son of a bitch.